Good morning and welcome to the Seneca County Board of Commissioner meeting. Today is Thursday, September 28th, 2023. It's 10 a.m. and this is our regular board session. And we'll begin the meeting with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Let's bow our heads for a short prayer. Dear God, thanks for bringing us together today for county business. We ask that you look over our county, watch the children, the schools. We want to say a special prayer for Jimmy Flint, who's going to move on. And we want to thank you, Jimmy, for everything and wish you well and your family. I want to thank all our veterans, and in your name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Amen. Roll call.
Commissioner Paradiso?
Here.
Commissioner Schuff is absent. Commissioner Frankert?
Here. Okay, so at this time I will accept the motion to approve the digital audio recording of our last meeting back on Thursday, September 21st, our regular board session.
I'll second.
Roll call?
Commissioner Frankert?
Yes.
Commissioner Paradiso?
Yes. Okay, so we are currently interrupting this meeting for a special arrangement. Welcome, Commissioner Kirchner.
What are you guys all doing here?
Yeah, come on in, everybody come on in. So at this point, we're going to turn the floor over to Commissioner Kirchner, Jimmy.
Okay.
Yeah, good
You
morning.
never know what's going to come out of his mouth.
Not commissioner anymore. You know, every once in a while you get an opportunity to come in and thank somebody who's done a heck of a job, and a good young person who is destined to become famous. Unfortunately, this morning's not one of those mornings. But we all wanted to come. Those of us who saw your talent and wanted somebody to bring the commissioners, me, an old guy, into the 21st century, which we, from a standpoint of social media, et cetera, we certainly were not. Now we're broadcasting live, and we got TikTok and Chit Chat and stuff. Somebody's paying shit with Venmo. Whatever we do, we do. I still don't know about it, but I know it works. So we wanted to say, Jimmy, thank you. We have a lot of, we certainly know that you're going to be successful in whatever it is you do. Thank you what you've done for the county, and thank you what you've done for a number of folks. A number of folks are also here. Teresa, I'll start with you since. Teresa, I'll start with you since you're. I'm looking at Lori saying, start with you with the museum.
Well, Jimmy, I just want to extend my gratitude. You were so helpful, you know, from the beginning, doing our press releases, setting up our Facebook page. He was the go-to guy. He saved me countless hours of writing, and I would send him like, hey, I need this press release out, or within 24 hours, it was done. You know, he'd be texting me back saying, okay, check your email because I got it done. And from the bottom of my heart, I appreciate everything that you did, and I think you were a big part in moving the museum in the right direction and just getting the PR work out for us, and
Thank
I
you.
greatly appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you.
Jimmy, I have worked with you since you were doing our reporting years and years ago, and you've always been great to work with. You were very good at writing our stories back then, and you're still good at writing our stories now. I've always loved working with you. That was probably the best decision, the best hire we ever made. Keep up the good work, and definitely going to miss you around here, and we appreciate you.
I'm gonna miss you too.
Go ahead, Laura.
It's the same thing as everybody else, except for I don't think you truly understand the weight that you take off of our shoulders. your support, what it has meant, and the things that you have done for us. And one of the things that I have learned is when somebody leaves and you take a look and you try to figure out, did they leave it better than when they started? And Jimmy, you most certainly left the entire county and the taxpayers of this county in a better spot than before you were here. And
Very
so
well
thank
said.
you.
Thank you.
you so much.
Thank you.
Jimmy, thank you. You brought us up into the modern age, as Mike said. I mean, Facebook Live for election night, letting the voters, letting the candidates see what's going on. They didn't have to crowd the office. They didn't have to worry about the pandemic. And then we just kept that going. I mean, the PR spinning that you do, the PR work you do, and where you're going will be a better place for hiring you.
I did.
Well, we got to thank the current Board of Commissioners as well. They've carried all this forward. Those of us in the early stages decided that we need a little bit more PR. These guys have grasped it and enhanced it, and I appreciate that, and I'm sure it's going to continue on. But your legacy will live on, Jimmy, on the screen or on somebody's Snapchat.
Before you go, we do have a couple other speakers. I want to put a plug in for the Board of Elections.
Oh, gosh.
We heard a rumor that Jimmy might be available for special assignment on election night, so we'll have to,
Love to do it.
so we might be able to keep that positive message going, and we appreciate that. There's a few other people in the room that aren't standing here.
Thank you, guys.
Kathy?
Yes. So Jimmy, I said this to you when I walked in, thank you so much. You worked with Mindy so well on our podcast, and you started that as a county thing, and then we kind of just took it and ran with it. Like was said before, I had the privilege of working with you when you were a reporter, and I just appreciate you so much and so grateful for you and a chance to know you and work with you. Thank you so much.
Yeah, I appreciate you too. Thank you.
Thanks for stopping by.
Yeah. Well, I got an email yesterday and heard the news, and it's going to be a definite hole to fill. A lot of people are going to miss a very important person who's done a lot, and I know that you will join me in really missing Terry Francona with the Indian, or the Guardian. But seriously, you made election work very enjoyable. We got a shout out from the Secretary of State. We're only one in 88 counties who do this. That you certainly got the Secretary of State's attention. And I know you think it wasn't very hard and easy thing to do, but apparently it is, because 87 out of 88 counties can't figure it out. So you will be missed sorely.
Thank you.
Thanks for all you did.
Thank you.
Thanks, everybody. Commission.
That's it, Commissioner.
Remarks?
Unless someone else has something in here.
Yeah, anyone else like the, Jim? Sure, Jim.
Thank you. You left it better than you found it. Please do not be a stranger, and we look forward to seeing you, and good luck in the future.
Jimmy, we'd like you to come up for a
Yeah.
photo with
Yeah,
everybody.
absolutely.
If you
Yep,
wanna-
yep. I feel like I need
Come
some
on up.
hugs, man.
And I think Ashley might have a camera with her. You guys want to come up here and just kind of all gather in the front?
Right here?
You want to get behind? How do you want to do it?
Just whatever.
Is there more, is it better behind? We good up there?
I think so. Yeah, let's let everybody kind of filter in and we'll.
Yeah, I'll come up.
Good deal.
How you doing, Jim? Good, how are you? Good.
Jimmy, we could pick you up like the coach.
Like
carry up. But,
You trust us.
throw it in the mosh pit. Yeah, that's a good one.
All right, everybody ready? We'll do 3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1.
Thank you.
Thank
That's
you,
awesome.
guys.
That'll be our,
It's been a pleasure, been an honor.
you guys can have.
Going down the
take
line,
off
Michael.
what you need to do. Great.
Thank you. Come here.
I say, we need a hug.
I didn't have time to go get nachos.
Yeah, sit right up front.
But I'll be around.
Yes, you will.
Nice.
Come here.
Lost.
Come here.
Welcome, Teresa.
Hey, just don't call me late for dinner. Mark. We are all
I
right.
think it's over, I'm gonna go ahead and see you, and I see you.
Yeah,
if you could send
I had to cover you.
Hey, thank you.
Hang
I was
on.
trying not to let anyone, because I didn't want any attention. I appreciate you guys. Thank you all. Seriously, thank you so much.
And they permitted it.
I guess actually, if I can say, maybe a couple things.
Speech.
Well, they don't have to say for it.
Yeah, Jimmy.
Yeah, they don't have to say. No one has to say for it. But I want to thank you guys. Thank Commissioner Kirchner for believing in what I wanted to do when I started 5 years ago. And I just honestly, like, my parting message is keep being transparent, keep being accessible. Remember who you do it for. It's the family at home. You know, it's the people who are living paycheck to paycheck. It's, you know, be prudent fiscally, make good decisions, and, you know, tell people what you're doing and why you're doing it. Because, you know, those are the ones you work for. So that's my word for you. I know you guys are going to do a great job. Thanks for taking a chance on me. Thank you, Commissioner Kirchner, for taking a chance on me. And, you know, I'm not hard to find. I'll be around. So thank you guys. I appreciate it.
God bless.
Thank you, sir. Hey, thank you.
Wow. Okay, deep breath here. Yeah, right. Back to good. Thank you. So, Kathy, you want to come on up and bring your group with you? And read an article yesterday that the Senate passed a dress code. That they had to dress. They couldn't wear T-shirts to Senate meetings anymore. Commissioner Franker reminded me of that, but we made an exception because of your son Max and the cause and everything that he stands for and what you're working for. So we're excited to have you here and to tell the story and maybe explain a little bit about Max's Miles.
Sure. Thank you so much for having us. So our son Max was 19 when he left us in 2016. He was an amazing kid, so talented, funny, hard worker, just a really neat kid, but he struggled with anxiety and a little bit of depression as well, and he ended his life in July of 2016. Of course, we were devastated. You just don't get over that. However, in his note to us, he said, take my money and help people and that feel like me. And so Jim and I were like, okay, how are we going to do that? And so our first thought was to approach the Mental Health and Recovery Services Board. And we did that. And we started a community walk. And maybe one of these guys remembers, I think this is our 6th or 7th event, and we have stuff out on social media, and it is a community awareness walk, and you don't have to walk if you don't want to. You can just come say hi.
It's fun. Yeah, it's not a 5K.
Yeah, it's just hey, we're getting together, trying to make people aware of the issue. And we have providers there and fun things, but it's October 7th this year at Hedges Boyer Community Park. And we have providers there like Firelands, the Mental Health and Recovery Board. Jim and I have a nonprofit, Solitude Ministries. Rigel will be there, lots of different people. And we just want to let people know there's resources out there. We have a really neat memory board where people can post a picture of their loved one and just, remember them and talk about them. And then after we do a little walk and we have some activities and stuff, there's food trucks, all sorts of stuff. Jim usually MCs an open mic and people can share about their loved one if they want to. And it's really powerful. Mayor Dawn will be there to read a proclamation again this year. Last year was our first year that Mayor Dawn joined us and read a proclamation. So that's kind of about the event. And you have covered our event before, and we're so appreciative of that. I don't know, do you guys want to say anything?
It's an important day, but it's a fun day. It can be a little heavy, but we keep it light. We have a dog walk, we have bounce house for kids, and families come, and it's a good time. We have the food trucks that come, but we have all the vendors, Awareness 22, which is a veteran suicide nonprofit, all the agencies she talked about. It's a good day. So hopefully weather permitting, it'll be a good day.
Starts at what time?
Well, we're there early. Some folks start to register around 8:30, 9. Probably a little after 9, we'll do a welcome and start some of the dog laps and things like that, but it's all on social media. If you would just look up Max's Miles, it'll pop up for you. So, Mindy, did you want to say anything?
It's a free event and everyone is welcome. We'd love to have you there.
Yep.
Yeah, that's great. So I went to Fremont. So do you have two?
Yes.
Or do you-
Yes.
Okay.
The
Yes.
Fremont one is an actual 5K, it's a race.
Connor Park. And
Yes, and this one is not, like I said, it's not a race. We have a couple of laps. We have a kids lap, we have a dog lap, adult lap, and around Hedges Boyer, we have different signs and a memory board where people can, put pictures of loved ones that we've lost and those kinds of things. So, yeah, it's more laid back.
So the original started in Fremont.
Actually, it started here in Tiffin, the
Okay.
original. The first one at Hedges Boyer, and then our nonprofit, we started doing one in Fremont.
We're off. You,
Yes,
Yep.
yes.
Jim, you're from there?
Yeah, I'm from Fremont, and we
From
started
that
doing
area,
that because
yeah, right.
when Max was little, we actually spent many hours at that Connor
Yes.
Park.
Yeah, so
Yes.
that's special there.
Yes.
Yeah.
Got it.
And usually around his birthday, so,
Yeah.
and we always had his birthday parties there, so it's just really special. So,
Every time.
yeah.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay.
And we all would pay to see Commissioner Paradis doing a 5K there, so. Participate now, we'd love to see that,
I can
so.
do it, but it won't be a run. Dog and I can do that, no problem. No time.
Thank you.
Well, we appreciate your support,
Yes,
wearing the
absolutely.
shirts, and hopefully you guys can make it out.
Are the shirts always black?
No, it just depends. This week,
Mindy has one on. They're different every year for the
Okay.
Tiffin event, so,
Max was a guitar player, and he was really into heavy metal and stuff. So a lot of times we try to keep him.
he wore a lot of black.
Yeah,
So.
he was a black guy.
I like it.
Johnny Cash looking.
Yeah.
Cool.
That was his outfit. So.
All right, well, thank you for everything. Jimmy, anything you're on? We good?
It's amazing. Thank you for all you guys do, seriously.
All right.
Okay.
Thanks.
Thanks.
everybody.
Sneak out, be good.
So,
Thank you.
thank you. Mike Dittle?
Yes, Mike, you should be able to share your screen, but let me know.
So, in the spirit of letting the public know who Mike is, you can hear me, right, Mike?
Yes, sir.
So the county commissioners engaged, we have a contract with Mike's company, Highbridge. And Mike, before you start, give us a 1-minute commercial of what Highbridge is and what you do for us, and then jump into your presentation, please.
Got it. No, thanks, Commissioner. So I have been at Highbridge Consulting for just over 5 years now. Previously served for 15 years in the state legislature as a staff member there. Started long ago as a page, basically a paid intern. I made copies and got the important people food and drink often, and then worked my way up through the ranks and ended my tenure there as chief of staff. And so what we do at Highbridge now is we do a lot of lobbying in public and government affairs. So we work with clients, government entities like Seneca County and nonprofits and other companies across the state and across the country and help serve their government affairs need at the State House. Try to educate lawmakers and build relationships there to try and accomplish some good policy for our clients across the state of Ohio. So we really love what we do. And we do some political work as well, but that's kind of a separate animal from Highbridge itself. So we've been privileged to work for Seneca County for a number of years now to help out with your government relations needs. And we are very, very grateful for the opportunity. So thank you.
And I think Jimmy has a comment for you. How about the what you told me was kind of interesting?
Yeah,
We
absolutely.
were putting Mike on the agenda.
Yeah, I would say, looking back on it, the county worked with a firm similar to Highbridge and really didn't get tangible results, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But working with Mike and Highbridge has been amazing. I mean, really, truly. So great job, Mike.
Thank you, Jimmy. I hope, are you fishing for compliments because everyone just came in and complimented you?
Go ahead.
People
pour it
keep
on.
looking at me.
No, feelings are mutual towards you. Thank you for everything that you have done for the county. You have been a tremendous asset to us as we have tried to accomplish a lot of great things. So thank you for all you did as well. Thank you for your kind words.
I caught a fish.
You sure did. You sure did. Well, can you all see my screen okay?
Yes. Yes, sir.
Okay, good. So I'll jump right into it. So it's been an interesting time at the State House lately, as you might imagine. We've had a lot going on now that they are past the summer recess. And kind of the big news of the day over the last couple of weeks has been redistricting. As you may have heard, late in the evening, at about 11 p.m. or so on Tuesday night, the Ohio Redistricting Commission unanimously, and in a bipartisan fashion, passed new maps for the Ohio General Assembly that will take effect in this next election in 2024. This is a big deal because, as I'm sure you all know, from reading the newspaper and watching the news over the last couple of years, the last few maps have brought about a lot of lawsuits and litigation. Some of these maps at the congressional level have gone all the way up to the United States Supreme Court. But the plan that was adopted on Tuesday night only affects the lines for the Ohio General Assembly. The congressional map is no longer in litigation. So the map that currently exists, which has Seneca County in the 5th Congressional District, represented by Bob Latta, will be the map going forward for the 2024 elections. And then we'll see what happens after that. But the plan that was adopted on Tuesday was passed by a 7-0 vote. All Republicans and all Democrats voted for the maps, this means now, pending any litigation that may come up, we will have these maps in place through the 2030 election for the next 8 years. So I think at least the feeling around here is this is good news. We don't have to talk about redistricting anymore. It's done. And for all of you in Seneca County to take a look at the map here, there is no change to your House or Senate districts. Seneca County is still fully within the 88th House District, currently represented by Representative Gary Click. And on the Senate side, nothing has changed in that district either. Seneca County is fully within the 26th Senate District, represented by Senator Bill Reineke. Representative Click will be up for re-election in 2024, and Senator Reineke is almost 3 years into his 4-year term. He will be up for re-election in 2024 as well. So redistricting is done, and that's a collective sigh of relief for all of us here in Columbus. Really, on the legislative side, there's a few things to talk about that impact Seneca County. And the big one coming up now is the state capital budget. And there's really two parts to this for the first time in a while. Just to give you a brief history, these are the items that have been funded for Seneca County. And I want to make sure you can all see the screen there, because sometimes there's a little bit of a lag. But the past two capital budgets, since we've had the privilege to work with Seneca County, and I'm not taking full credit for this by any means. We are a small piece of the pie, but it's been a team and collaborative effort. The county in these capital budgets has accumulated just over $750,000 in state funding for a variety of projects that you see here. They range from $50,000 for some mausoleum repair to up to $300,000 for the Tiffin Community Kitchen. It's a variety of things that impact the county, and really what's so unique about all of this is the capital budget. And when I was in the House, I used to work on these quite a bit. There's only about $150 or $160 million to be spread across the whole state for community projects like these. That's not a lot of money. And when you talk about the triple C's, Cleveland, Columbus, and Cincinnati, of course, because they're the most populous, they get the lion's share of the dollars. Some counties get only a few $1,000s, or $10,000 or $25,000 here. Seneca has done well, but there's more money every 2 years typically for the budget, and that's going to be a focus that we want to work with you on and try and get some of those dollars coming up here, because that process is going to start this fall. But there's a little bit of a difference in this next capital budget, because in the state operating budget that was passed in June, the legislature had a lot of capital funding requests, very, very unique actually. One of the things that basically a lot of folks wanted to do in the operating budget was fund capital projects. Well, there's lots and lots of requests for capital projects, and really the state has a lot of leftover money from federal dollars from the pandemic. They also have a lot of good stewardship of the dollars from the legislature and the governor that have allowed the state to be in a pretty good financial situation. So what the legislature decided to do, and they have never done this in the 20 years I have worked down here, what they decided to do is take $700 million, so almost 5 times larger than the state capital budget, and create a one-time strategic investment fund. They've been calling this sort of the super capital budget. We don't have full details on it yet, but in some of the calls that we've had with legislators and members of the House and Senate leadership teams, what we believe is going to happen is that they're going to use these general revenue fund dollars and they're going to be able to fund projects. You see the list there, potentially things for transportation, road and bridge construction, brick and mortar community projects that would benefit schools, jails, zoos, museums, parks, and waterfronts, and other local facilities. It's very, very similar to a capital budget, and we believe, this could change, but we believe that this one-time strategic investment fund is going to be blended at about the same time with the state capital budget. If that's the case, then this strategic investment fund and the capital budget could top somewhere in the neighborhood of $850 million to be spent between now and the spring. That's a lot of money, and we would encourage Seneca County to try and identify projects that could be funded by this fund. This is slightly different because, as you know, the capital budget are bonded projects. So you're issuing debt to fund those projects for a community purpose and a community investment. The one-time strategic investment fund is general revenue fund dollars. They are not bonded, and it is a one-time infusion of cash. I am highly skeptical that the legislature will fund any continuing programming with this. They want to fund strategic projects that make sense for all 88 counties. But as such, because they are not bonded, I believe that these projects will be a little looser in terms of their requirements in order to get funded. I think that's good news, but it would be a good idea, I think, for all of us to get together soon, talk about what makes the most sense for the county. And of course, as you know, you have really good champions with Senator Bill Reinke and Representative Gary Click. They want to see Seneca County succeed. They want to see their individual districts thrive. So they're going to be key components to this entire effort as the Strategic Investment Fund and the capital budget get underway. And I expect that they'll have to have, as if history's any indication, they'll have to have projects kind of in their offices and lined up and ready to go no later than Thanksgiving or the end of the year, because they'll typically pass this in the spring. Again, no guidelines have been sent out for either the capital budget or the strategic investment fund yet. We have done a little research on our own to try and give you the best advice we can moving forward. So before I go into some of the other legislative items, any questions on the capital or strategic investment fund budgets?
Oh, great update.
Thank you, Mike. Yeah, that's great news.
You get it.
How soon, I mean, you're thinking next month, try to get together, get this laid out, or sooner, or what's your thoughts?
I think so. I think sometime in the next 2 to 4 weeks, our team from Highbridge will gladly come up to Seneca County. We can have a meeting and we can talk about ideas that you may have. I know we had kind of a preliminary discussion earlier this year. And these, you know, they like to see in a lot of these projects, they like to see shovel ready, but they don't have to be. That's just something they'd like to see when they're making these decisions. And they also want to see that there is really some community support, whether that be, in this case, you all as the commissioners are backing it, the chamber or other groups, local active groups that they're behind this. And potentially that maybe there would even be a local match. The local match requirement is not necessary, we don't believe, for the one-time strategic investment fund. The state is really just trying to use their leftover cash, if you will, in a responsible fashion that's going to help the county and the municipalities across the state achieve some strategic objectives. So we'll work with you all and find a date that's convenient for you, and we'll bring our team up and we'll put our heads together and see what kind of initial list we can come up with.
Mike, so I have a follow-up to Commissioner Frankert's
Yeah.
statement. Get my thoughts here. So I think it's important when you come up that we're prepared. So that 2 weeks, that 4 weeks, whatever that is, we should be prepared. We have had meetings in the past where you came up. I see Stacy back there. We were kind of scrambling. Jimmy, remember we were scrambling to come up with some projects. So I think we will be better prepared for you, number one, okay? Number two, this is not 100% county commissioners. Now, we're paying Mike ditto, okay? But this is a big county, so I'm looking at Adam, I'm looking at Renee, I'm looking at the city of Tiffin. So it's possible, for example, the community kitchen could go directly to Senator Reineke and say, this is a project that we want. I think the other thing we learned last time, I think it's good that we all we don't have to. Everybody can do their own thing, but I think it would be good if the county, the commissioners would define our projects, everybody would have their projects, maybe we could kind of share them, because we're also going to need support letters to each other for our projects. So I think if we could do a little better job on upfront of internally what's going to best impact our county, and then communicate that to Senator Reineke and Representative Click, because they're the ones that carry the baton, I think that would help. So Mike, is there a follow-up to what I just said? Correct me, add to it. I'm looking, we want to do a good job and be ready for you.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that, and I think all of that was very well said. One of the things that I think gets lost on folks, and I wouldn't have known this either had I not been in the room for so many years when I worked at the State House. If you think about it, for the state capital budget, there's $150 million approximately every 2 years that's available. And that sounds like a lot of money, and it's not. There are 132 legislators, both the House and the Senate. My last capital budget there, which was in 2000, either 16 or 17, we had everybody submit their requests, and then we try to whittle it down to something that falls within that $150 million range, or $150 to $160 million range. There were, among the 132 legislators, almost $2 billion in requests for the capital budget. So obviously the requests far exceed the money that is actually available. So to your point, Commissioner, I think it is very, very wise to be organized, to be somewhat unified as much as you can. But I also think it's important to kind of shoot for the moon. If you particularly this one-time strategic investment fund, this has never been done before. I think the legislature is pretty excited about it because it's an opportunity to infuse some cash into these districts and into their districts across the state. So shoot for the moon, but also we should also be realistic about how much we're asking for and what makes the most sense for the county. The more buy-in you can get from people, the easier it is for your legislators to go and advocate to the House and Senate leadership that the entire county or a big portion of the county is behind these individual projects. And if you deviate too much to where you have 25 different entities submitting 45 different projects, it makes it a lot harder to make a decision.
Yeah. Adam Gilmore has a comment.
Hi, Mike. Adam Gilmore, Tiffin Seneca Economic Partnership.
Yes, sir.
I know previously, like with its typical capital budget, the money is bonded and then flowing through a state agency. Are you having any indication from agencies that they're going to be putting additional requirements on funds that may be dispersed through those entities? Because I know that's a problem that has occasionally been run into where certain agencies or funds end up having additional requirements that need to be accounted for.
That's a great question, Adam. And we have asked that question ourselves, and we don't have a clear answer yet, particularly with this one-time strategic investment fund. The requirements are a little loose because they are general revenue dollars, and the legislature hasn't put out that guidance yet, but totally agree with you. As you may know, commissioners, when you get capital funding, for things like Opportunity Park or the Tiffin Community Kitchen. That money flows through a state agency. Often it is the Ohio Facility Construction Commission or the Ohio Department of Higher Education, things like that. Basically, you have to have a joint use agreement with those entities in order for the money to flow to you. With this strategic investment fund, it's unclear at this point how the state agencies will be involved, but we're eager to get a little bit of guidance on that because my friend Adam is correct. If the state agencies get involved, there may be additional requirements, but that's not certain at this time.
Thanks.
That.
Yeah.
I do have a follow-up too, that we will be getting with you January 1st, that Renee Smith with FEDC is going to be the lead for grants and stuff on that, Mike, so we'll make sure, get each other's contact and stuff on that for this and future projects, so.
That sounds great.
So when
grants are good opportunities as well. You got it.
I think, and I'm just suggesting this will be up to all of us, but the county commissioners are paying Highbridge and Mike, okay? So we're paying you to come up and meet with us to talk about our needs, okay? And there's a lot of moving parts. I also think that when you do come up, we can discuss the agenda of the meeting and the time commitment of the meeting. But I think at that time, to your point, Commissioner Franker, it would be wise to bring in TCEP and maybe FEDC and maybe Sentinel Vanguard, or whoever the county, wherever we feel for us, that's who we would invite in. But it would be broader than just us, to your point, because we have partners we work with, and I think that would be very good also for you to meet them, Mike.
Absolutely.
And
we welcome it. The more the merrier. And I should mention too, unlike the state operating budget that was passed at the end of June and finalized and signed by the governor, which has a constitutional deadline, these two budgets don't. The capital budget doesn't even have to happen, and there have been years where it did not happen. The one-time strategic investment fund has to happen sometime within the next 2 years before the next state operating budget is passed. So I'm giving you the timelines and the deadlines as best as we know them right now, but they could float a little bit and change because there is no constitutional requirement for their passage. So if anything does change, we'll let you know. But I figured, given that the fact that they may, as is typical, want to have some information from the individual counties at the end of the year, and that could be pushed back. We'd rather work with you and be as prepared as possible so we can strike at a moment's notice if we need to.
did you have anything else, Mike?
A couple more minor items outside of these two budgets. I shouldn't say minor, just different items. As you know, we were working very closely with all of you and Senator Bill Reineke on his Senate Bill 119 landfill legislation. And just more of an update there. It passed out of the Ohio Senate unanimously on June 21st. And as you know, Senator Reineke was trying to get that folded into the state budget. I think that did not happen, not because of the merits of the bill or because of Senator Reineke's efforts, but largely because I think the Ohio House wanted to have some process behind that. So the bill just a couple of weeks ago was assigned to the Ohio House Energy and Natural Resources Committee on September 12th. And I believe, and I don't want to speak for Senator Reineke, that the goal is to try and get that legislation done as soon as possible, hopefully by the end of the year. And there's a common misconception that bills die at the end of the General Assembly's calendar year. It only happens at the end of the General Assembly total. So if the bill does, this General Assembly lasts until December 31st, 2024. So technically, the bill remains active and on the docket for the next 16 months. But I think that Senator Reineke is working very, very much in earnest with his colleagues in the House to try and get this done. No hearings have been scheduled yet by that committee, but I expect that will take shape here pretty soon. So stay tuned on that. It will keep you apprised, as I know it is on this one as well. And I think, as you all know from some of our past updates, We were working very closely with all of you commissioners, as well as Jimmy and others in the county, and even a few stakeholders across the state, to get some language adopted into the state budget. It originally started as us trying to get something that would classify EMS as an essential service, that would open EMS across the state for opportunities like that. And what we're finding, and somebody has gathered control of the screen here, so I'm going to stop sharing. Jimmy, can you do that?
Yeah.
Don't know who's
I know who that is.
Somebody captured that. I'm sorry that somebody else was controlling the screen there for a moment. The EMS language in the budget requires the ODM director to seek federal approval to establish and administer a supplemental payment program called the Ground Emergency Medical Transportation Service, or GEMT. This will allow, in a big way, eventually, once this gets established by Medicaid, it'll allow EMS providers across the state the opportunity to potentially get more funding to supplement the payments that already go to the county. So right now, the Department of Medicaid is actually working on establishing this plan. That language takes effect on October 3rd. And from there, an EMS organization like Seneca County will be eligible to receive supplemental Medicaid payments under the program if it is an organization operated by the governmental entity, in this case Seneca County, holds a valid Medicaid provider agreement and provides emergency medical transportation services. So what we like to do and what we like to recommend is to allow us to meet with the Department of Medicaid here in the coming weeks. I talked to Commissioner Paradiso earlier about connecting locally with some of your EMS leadership, and we basically want to get folks into a good spot to where once this program is ultimately and hopefully approved by the federal government for everything to take shape, we'll be ready to go to launch this and hopefully over time potentially get some more funding to the EMS services in the county and then across the state.
Yeah, awesome space. Remember we went down and asked for it, and Jimmy, you worked really hard, and the governor was going to veto that, right, Mike?
Yes, there was a discussion because what really was happening was the governor, I think, liked the language, and the administration's state agencies typically just don't like to be told what to do through a mandate. I think they were very committed to doing what we were asking, but they didn't want to have it put in the statute. So what we did was we worked with them and said, you know, we'd rather have this in the code so there's a little bit of an enforcement mechanism to make this work. And that's exactly what happened. The governor was kind enough not to veto the language. We've been talking with the Department of Medicaid, and they are trying to get it all together for us here in short order. So we haven't talked to them lately because it doesn't take effect until October 3rd, but we will do that and see where they are in the process and report back.
Jimmy, you did a good job on that. You want to say anything?
No, awesome work from Mike and Representative Click. I mean,
Well,
we
you
worked with the Ohio
resurrected it.
EMS Chiefs Association. Honestly, you know, Ken Majors, previous EMS director,
started it.
he started it. I mean, we sent you down in May of 22 to EMS on the Hill, and this was the goal. So to see it get through the budget, it's one of the biggest wins we've had since I've been here.
Awesome.
Yeah.
It's a great win, and special thanks to Representative Click. He was instrumental in getting that done in the budget. Thanks also to you, Jimmy. I know you were extraordinarily helpful as well, as were the commissioners, in making the case and putting all the puzzle pieces together. But it was really a team effort from start to finish. So we were excited to be a part of that. And there's more to come.
And we'll wrap up, but I understand that we can back bill to that October 3rd date up to the first of the year. So if this all gets, let's say we get everything working Thanksgiving time, we could go back for any Medicaid run from 10/3 forward and back bill for that, is my understanding.
I think that's right.
That's kind of, I mean, we're all trying to get it done, but it's not, we won't have it in place by next week, so we could go back. Yeah, it's good. It's absolutely gonna make a huge difference, so.
Mike, I do have a
Go ahead.
follow-up. I did talk to Senator Reinicke this morning, so it sounds like they must have just got, next week on Tuesday, he is testifying on Senate Bill 119 at the House. So they did get that scheduled, so, and then he kind of gave a few days and he had to take off then. But if you can kind of follow that, let us know, for the following time, so folks, if they want to go down and speak, they can and stuff on that. So if you can let us know that, that'd be great.
Got it. You got it. And thanks again for having us serve the county. We truly enjoy it. We enjoy visiting with all of you. It's nice to be here virtually too, but we enjoy working with the county. And again, I'm sorry some idiots overtook the presentation there for a short time and put some offensive commentary on the screen, but we will make a cleaned up version of the PowerPoint available to you commissioners. And if there's anything else you need, of course, we are a phone call away, and we'll look forward to getting together with you soon.
Yeah, Barb's on vacation next week, and we're working on our budget, so we have kind of a full plate. I would say we're a couple of weeks out contacting you to get on the calendar because we just, there's going to be a lot of moving parts for that meeting. We're going to make sure.
Maybe the week of the 15th or something like that, maybe we can get something scheduled and everything.
So we all have a list of things we have to schedule, and is that okay, Mike?
Absolutely.
And there's some prep work before we schedule, so we're good.
Yep, we'll look forward to it. Thanks for the opportunity to present today. I appreciate it.
Thanks, Mike.
You bet.
Okay, so that concludes the agenda. We'll jump into our appointments, so we'll jump into commissioner reports. Go ahead.
Okay.
Commissioner Frankie.
So on Tuesday, participated at the OSU, the Farm Talks, great attendance as far as speakers, and kind of got a different perspective from water quality, and a lot of extension folks with the different avenues that they work with us out through extension. So that's time well spent, and I think she's going to try to start a quarterly process with that. Try to have folks come in, don't have to be farmers, anybody that's in the county stuff, but for different topics. So that was good. And then we had the investment advisory committee meeting. Looks like things with investments are looking good. With it's kind of a double-edged sword a little bit when interest rates go up. That helps with the funds we have, but again, to just be cautiously optimistic that we proceed with that. Also had on the Eclipse meeting over with the chamber. So a few updates on Eclipse stuff that working with the chamber.
I saw the glasses.
Yeah, so they've got
So we're handing out glasses
few
now.
glasses out. They're going to kind of wait for March to do that. The special glasses you can protect your eyes, through this process here. So I'm sure that Friday end of February, so we'll all have to have our glasses out here to show on that. So they're going to work with the businesses, get them, kind of let them use as a promotion, and 50 glasses, come in and buy something, get glasses or something like that. So they're kind of working through that process there. They currently have, Seneca County Fairgrounds and Attica Fairgrounds is lined up to host people who want to come in and camp for that time. And I think they've got the combination of the two is about 300 at each site. And then also they're working with Elmer Cole outside of Bloomville. He has about 800 sites available that he's willing to open up for people to do that. So more information as things proceed. Just keep an eye on the chamber website. They're constantly updating that. Sound like most of the motels are still some room yet, but they're kind of filling up pretty quickly on that part of it. So November 13th, they're going to have a merchants meeting at 6:30 p.m. for anybody in the area who wants to help and do some activities and stuff through the process here. I think they're going to do some stuff maybe downtown, and outlying communities are encouraged to do something if they see fit and stuff with that. So
Are you running with this now? Is this your committee?
Yeah, this
going
is
forward.
Yeah, that's
Okay, good.
So I'll take care of
Good
stuff. That's fine. Yeah.
No, that's great because appreciate the updates.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna worry about it or think about it.
Right.
Knowing you got that covered.
Yeah. So we're good on that. So, wow. Thanks, Lee.
Welcome to downtown Tiffin.
Oh, see, up and then.
That was good.
That was, yeah. Tonight's the health department meeting, so I'm planning on go to that and see what we can learn from the health department, updates from them. So that's kind of where I'm at. Tony?
Yeah, I think I'm, circle back to you, Jimmy. My report is you. So a couple things. I remember so I've been here a little over 4 years now, and you've been here 5. Yeah. So I remember one of the first times I met you, I came in here, Commissioner Thomas was here, you were there, and you guys were yelling. I mean, screaming at each other. And I'm kind of thinking, and then you and I screamed at each other a couple times. I remember Commissioner Franker was in the audience, he came in and he goes, like, what was that, you know? So, but we had the one thing about Jimmy, he's a younger generation, number one, when you're my age. So he brings a completely different perspective, which I really like. Okay, and so you helped me. Like we hashed it out, but we respected each other, right? Is that a fair way to say it?
Yep.
And I knew. So we got to a certain point, and then we calmed down, and everybody we would be good. So. I don't look at that as, I don't think there was ever a time, I know there was never a time when you and I would get in that mode where we didn't like each other or whatever, right?
Absolutely.
So, I appreciate it. I mean, you helped me look at things as a commissioner, try to, I love your transparency thinking and you know, being open and because when you come in from the public sector or the private sector, you just don't understand a lot of stuff. You know, it takes a little bit. You have a couple candidates in the room that you'll figure that out when you get in there. It's a little bit of an adjustment, but it's a good thing. So I wish you well. You've grown. I mean, you and I go back to Heidelberg.
Yeah. Yep.
When you were at Heidelberg, you interned for me. You were one of the first. Jimmy would do highlights of basketball games. He put a 2-minute clip together like you would see on Big Board Friday, and he put those things together, and it was like pretty.
I'm gonna have to pull one of those up later.
Yeah, you had some.
That's cool.
Yeah,
you had interviews some with
good
players
stuff.
and the coach.
Interviews, and you know,
cool.
it's just. So we go back, yeah. And so I want to wish you well. Wish you and your wife well. I know you're going to go places, so.
Thank you.
Yeah, God bless you. Thank you.
You too. I do want to follow up with that also.
Yeah,
and
sure.
I was going to say it here, but I will since you started. So, Jimmy, when I came in, I mean, we've had, you know, through time that, you know, through our EMS and stuff on it, we'd read the paper that damn Jimmy got us again. We were working on our EMS.
Oh, he's the reporter.
Yeah,
way
well,
back.
but in here and stuff on it. But really grow and appreciate, you know, coming in here, seeing what you do and stuff on that. You really shine, and we really appreciate the stuff you've done through the writings for us, and you know, make us look, you know, a lot better than we are, right? So, right?
Come on, that's not true.
It's fantastic, and going to miss you. I mean, seriously, that yeah, we love having you in the office, and yeah, been fantastic to work with. So.
You want to maybe take a second, Sherry and Ashley, and just kind of
Let's do an
talk about
introduction.
next week, or
Yeah.
how things might, because
Sure.
Jimmy's also worked, compliment, really hard at communicating with Barb and realigning the job description and things he thinks we need, and I think you just did a great job. You have a couple guests here that we welcome, so.
Yeah, absolutely.
You might wanna
I guess
explain that.
so.
Why don't you bring them up front? So
Yeah,
everybody
let's
can-
Come on up. Yeah, you guys
Let's do
come on
it.
up. Yeah,
let's go.
so everybody can meet you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think what I will say is, you know, communication work can, at least my job and how it's been in the last 5 years, can kind of be split into two different distinct roles. And one is like, you know, working closely with Taya and all of our different media partners to like try to make their life easier. You know, I did Taya's job exactly right. And there were some things that were really irritating to me, that it was hard to get people on the phone, it was hard to get answers, it was hard to get good, accurate information to where you're at your deadline and you're guessing. So the one thing I always wanted to do is to like just be there for them and try to help make their job easier. You know, transparency is really important to us at the county. So, and then the other thing is, when I came in, we didn't really have much of a social media presence because we just weren't really trying at that. And in today's day and age, I think that's really important, where people can go directly to the source to get primary information. So we really bolster our website, we bolster our social media. But so that brings me to Sherry and Ashley today, which I'll let them introduce themselves in a second. But they're kind of taking those two different roles on with an individual focus. And I think there's going to be some great advantages to the county for that. You know, they're going to be doing a lot of the same things that I was doing, but with their own kind of singular focus in their areas. So Sherry is a writer. She's written features. You work for how many different entities?
Several. I've had my work all across the country, actually.
That's amazing.
So locally in Fremont News Messenger, Brooklyn News Herald, and the Beacon since 2006.
That's amazing. So I'll, you know, in a second, and Ashley is going to be more of the social media, so creative content. You know, I've been saying this since I started, but we have about 600 employees in the county, and every single day there's an interesting story that's going on that's not being told. So I'm hoping, you know, because I'm leaving, but I still care. You know, I'm still a Seneca County resident. I want to see you guys thrive and do well. And I'm really excited for Ashley and Sherry. So I'm gonna just leave it to them. Maybe they can give a quick little introduction of themselves, and then we'll be good. So
Both Seneca County residents, by the way.
yeah. Who wants to go first?
I'm Sherry Trustee. I think I just introduced myself.
Yeah.
But I've been writing for newspapers since 2006. I'm also a photographer, and I'm really excited to be here. My passion is promoting. That's what I do in the newspapers. Is I write a lot of feature stories. I promote people, organizations, the government, all the work the government's doing. So I'm very excited to be here. Thank you.
Awesome.
I'm Ashley Stahl. I don't have a super impressive background or anything. I'm a mom of 4 mainly, but excited to start working with the county. So.
But you're involved, you care about the county, you know a lot of what's going on.
Absolutely, yes.
Yeah. You actually like watch our
you have that
meetings.
local.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have a, really, and 4 kids.
Don't discount 4 kids.
Yeah, don't.
That's right.
I think you bring a great perspective,
Yeah.
and plus all your talent.
Yes.
So we've divided the jobs, and thanks for doing all that, Jim.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm really excited for both of them. I think
So
they're
we're
going to
gonna
do
have
great.
an official, are you gonna have like a pen handoff to?
The laptop handoff or something?
That's all right, guys.
Maybe pencil.
He just filled my brain.
yeah. We had like a brainstorm session this morning.
So after this meeting, Sherry will write
Yes,
the post-meeting
please don't write
notice.
about me.
You'll
But-
throw it up on the press?
Yes.
It's up to her.
But we're gonna run through it, and then hopefully, you know, if you guys have questions, I'll be available. But yeah, we'll do a dry run today. See how it goes.
How about we get them up here, Taylor, when you take a picture, that way we kinda, get up. Come on up here, right? Come on, Jimmy.
I want my picture taken. All right.
Barbie, come on up.
Same. Yeah. Okay. All right.
The handoff, do we even need to be in
handoff.
it? I don't even know if we need to be in it. Okay, we'll.
Come on, you're in
Come
it.
on,
New
come on.
team,
It's all-
little team,
it's
have
all
team
a
photo
team.
here. Yeah. Okay.
We're a team.
Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3. I'm taking a few. Perfect, thank you.
Thank you, yeah, thank you, Taylor.
All right.
Thanks.
For taking some time. Communication is important.
Okay, so that, any old business, thank you. I guess that's clearly new business, but, do we have any old business?
Just touch a little bit.
Can we not skip to old business?
Did we?
Administrator report and then old business generally.
Yeah. I had you above new business. Hold the old business.
I don't care. I'm just trying to go by the agenda. That's all I'm.
So Jimmy, when you're gone, I don't know if Sherry or Ashley, one of them's might have to, when I have a brain fade like that, you know, somebody's got to bail me out. You guys are
We're good, we're good. We'll get you.
Generally, we don't have old business. We just go from administrator to new business. So it's.
Yeah.
Okay, so my report, again, I'm going to thank Jimmy.
Thank you.
Jimmy and I have worked very closely for the last 5 months that I've been as administrator. We have worked previously together, but he's been very helpful with a lot of the information that I need to find, or he knows where I can get it from, or, but I do appreciate everything that you've done for me, and wish you well.
Yeah, thank you. It's been awesome working with you.
Thank you. Just a couple other things. I have a change order for our EMS Station 1, which is our southeast station, for $29,210. It's above my authorization, so I'll have to have Tony sign for it. It's just a few minor changes that the construction company, Klaus Construction, actually thought might be of benefit to the building itself. Yeah, we've all seen it, so it's not anything really. And then the other thing that I have is I got a phone call from Janet Dell in regards to the Erie Basin committee, and I believe that Tyler is actually on that committee, but they were requesting possibly, it's a committee assignment that's done at the beginning of the year, that if Tyler isn't making those meetings, if one of you would be able to attend those meetings, and then we can just reassign it next year.
I think we should assign Commissioner Frankert to that. We discussed that at, I know I overheard you discussing it at the luncheon with Janet.
Yep.
And then she looked at me and smiled, so, yeah, so is that okay?
Yeah, I'll show
'Cause
up
you have
and
to
then we
go,
can reappoint
like, you have to
Dan.
drive
Yeah, we
around
can
and stuff.
we can reappoint it at the beginning of the year.
So we got,
It's just-
you
I
have
don't
to go
have a chance,
somewhere.
so an email or something, just.
Yeah,
let
I
her know when
can
the
I
next
can get the
meeting is, and-
information. Mhm.
Yeah, that'd be fine. I mean, that's important. I mean, we have, the Sandusky River, we have to drink our water and
Correct.
stuff on that, so we need to have a presence there to see the
Mhm.
table, so, yeah, I will. I think I got a little experience with water and stuff on that, and soil and everything, so.
The only other thing that I have, again, there will be no meeting next week. I'll be out of the office, so we decided to cancel that meeting on October the 5th. And then going forward, with future meetings, they will not be live. We will be recording them for our minutes, but we will not be broadcasting those live until we work out something else or find a solution for that at this point.
A little more to just pushing the button, huh, Jimmy?
Yeah, it's, when I was doing live production in college, it's like a 6 or 7 person team doing it. You got an audio guy, you got a graphics guy, you got a producer, and so I've been able to do it by myself. But it's I hope you guys can get back to it, but it's going to take some careful thinking and planning, I think, to get that done.
You were well trained at Heidelberg, bless you.
Yeah, absolutely. Shout out Student Princess. Yep.
That's all.
So we will record the meetings and.
Yeah, we'll record the
They'll be up
meetings.
on the
They'll
website.
still be uploaded and everything. They'll just won't be a live meeting.
So we're back to the spider phone for Mike Ditto or
Yes.
whatever?
Right.
Yes.
Okay, we could do it that way, right?
Yep.
Okay,
That's all I have for my report then.
okay. Hearing no old business.
I do have one
See?
more. Yeah, I do have one more there. Right. So no, I was just going to comment. So being on an executive committee of regional planning, trying to learn, and so we actually working with Engineer Zimmerman on getting our arms wrapped around the sewer district and billing and all that stuff with it. So that's kind of work on that process to get educated and look at all the scenarios with that. So kind of work on that
Okay.
too. So
You had a meeting with them and stuff?
yeah, yep, yes.
Okay, good. Anything else?
Nope, I'm good.
Okay. Nothing here. New business, supplemental appropriations.
I only have a few. I have from general fund. We're putting it back into the general fund for the jail salaries, Medicare, and OPERS. This is an ARP correction that we've had to do. We took the money out of general fund, but then we're making a correction to take it out of the ARP money, and then we have to then take that money back from the jail salaries, Medicare, and OPERS. The salaries amount is $906,238.40. The Medicare amount is $12,516.63. and the OPERS amount is $138,948.74. I have a request for general fund for travel expenses for $700. This is to complete the registration for CCAO Winter Conference for the 4 of us to attend. And then I have ditch maintenance fund, the contract projects fund line for $50,000. This is for contracted work that they are going to schedule.
So move.
Okay, I'll second the motion for supplemental appropriations. Any discussion? Okay, roll call?
Commissioner Frankert?
Yes.
Commissioner Paradiso?
Yes.
Resolutions. I have a resolution requiring the Seneca County Commissioners to receive requests for qualifications for design services of a wastewater treatment facility in the village of Miracle, Ohio, on behalf of the Seneca County engineer.
So move, I'll make a motion to
Second.
do this. Discussion, Commissioner, Mark Zimmerman has a grant to fund this, and we're just authorizing him to move forward with that RFQ.
Yep.
Is it RFQ or RFP?
RQ.
Okay.
Yeah.
RFQ, okay, got it. So this is $112,000 or $20,000 to design basically a sewer plant station that would be maybe similar to the one you see in Bascom or New Riddle area. There's a couple options, it's not been decided which way to go, but this is the next step, is to get all the engineering done, and I'm pretty excited about it.
Yeah.
Mark got the
definitely.
grant, and
Yeah.
is, part of that. We have 5 districts, and New Riddle's one of them, and this is specific for New Riddle.
And I feel that, when they designed that whole system there, it's when Regal Meats was, and then they no more got it done, and then they
Just-
pulled out. It's tough on the.
Everything
folks
went
there that-
bad.
Yeah, it did. That was.
Everything.
Tough
From the
deal for them,
first-
so yeah.
Yeah, they didn't even pay one bill, I understand.
Right.
They closed, and, yeah, Tom's familiar with their,
Yep.
yeah. But anyhow, this is a positive.
Commissioner Frankert?
Yes.
Commissioner Paradiso?
Yes.
Resolution authorizing a fund advance from the general fund to the federal fiscal year 2024 IDEP Sheriff Office Fund of 1086 in the amount of $19,176.36.
So move.
I'll second it. Yeah, that's a new one for me.
They do it every,
Yeah.
they rotate these funds. I think there's three, every 3 years they rotate the fund. But they do get federal money for IDEPT and STEP grants, and then we advance the money because it's a reimbursable. They need the money up front, and then once they've expended the money, they ask for reimbursement, and it comes back to the county.
Okay. Roll call?
Commissioner Frankert?
Yes.
Commissioner Paradiso?
Yes.
Resolution authorizing a fund advance from the general fund to the federal fiscal year 24 STEP Sheriff Office Fund of 1222, I'm sorry, excuse me, in the amount of $20,676.35.
Moved.
Second.
Any discussion?
Similar situation.
Similar, yep.
Okay.
Mhm.
Yep.
Good. All right, roll call?
Commissioner Frankert?
Yes.
Commissioner Paradiso?
Yes. Fog.
Resolution entering into contract with the Mental Health and Recovery Services Board on behalf of the Seneca County Common Police Court effective July 1 of 2023.
So move.
Second that. Can't, I'm working on it.
This is just a little bit of discussion.
Yeah.
It's for state fiscal year 24 for specialized docket subsidy project funds for Pivot Court, $45,000 to each of the judges in common pleas, and $10,748 for administrative fees for the addiction treatment program.
Well, you just you know, the public just needs to understand how hard, and I see Stace here from juvenile court, but without all these grants, without the effort of all the electeds to continue to help fund their needs, it would be disastrous. So whenever the mental health, Mirrors, they do a great job, obviously, but this is another example of that. These grants just keep coming in, and somebody has to do the paperwork, and we have to justify them, and we have to follow through, and so that's all appreciated. I know it's a lot of work, and nobody really understands how much work it is. Okay, roll call.
Commissioner Frankert,
Yes.
Commissioner Paradiso.
Yes.
Resolution entering into contract with Oriana House on behalf of the Common Police Court effective July 1, 2023.
So moved.
I'll second that. Good. Roll call.
Commissioner Frankert,
Yes.
Commissioner Paradiso.
Yes.
Authorizing the expenditure of general funds for late service charge unable to be removed from the Seneca County Maintenance AT&T invoices. It's in the amount of $304.72.
So move.
I'll second that. Let's have a little discussion. You might want to put that, this is part of the, what?
It's actually, what's happened is there were a couple of accounts with AT&T that we were receiving the bills online. We did not have access to that. So they
Is this old
charged.
news, or is this something?
It's something that's new. We've
There were
done
other
it in the past. We've done these in the past because if late charges or interest can't be removed, the commissioners by ORC need to pass a resolution so the auditor's office will pay them.
Is this a commissioner?
This is for the maintenance department.
Okay.
So
So I know
it's
the-
actually one of those bills that was
Missed.
coming in. Yeah, it's just been missed for a few months, and we're trying to get it straightened out. We have the access to it now, so.
And this is kind of lieu of doing court order and doing all that
Yeah.
stuff. This is really the
Yes.
proper process.
This is proper
That's
process
for
to
that.
do it.
Good
Mhm.
point.
People to utilize.
Yep.
and- Okay.
Yeah, if something can't be removed, they can always ask the commissioners to pass a resolution.
We've done it.
We've done it for the engineer's office,
Yeah.
we've done it for the EMA
$2 here.
recently. Those are the ones that come to mind recently. So, but they do work hard to try to get those fees removed, and if they just won't remove them, then it just takes active legislation.
Oh, I hate this, but we gotta do it. Okay, roll call.
Commissioner Frankert,
Yes.
Commissioner Paradiso.
Yes.
The last thing that I have is a resolution denying wildlife hunting on the Board of County Commissioners of Seneca County, Ohio owned property.
Okay.
So move.
I'll second that. Just a little brief discussion. You wanna add
Yeah,
anything?
so, I'd just like to add, so just for clarification, that Seneca County Conservation District, they have the handicap hunt, that's their own property, they're able to continue to do that, project there. Same Parks Department's got their own property and they can do as they see fit. This is just the property that basically the farmland we own, it's got little woods on it, this or that. It's kind of what we're doing to keep liability and all that, with it. So that's kind of one of the reasons why I brought it up. So.
Yeah, I think that's well said. Nothing to add.
Yeah, and the way it's worded, Board of County Commissioners of Seneca County, Ohio, is actually how it is deeded to the county commissioners. So it's any property that the county commissioners own. Park District has it's deeded to them separately, and Soil and Water Conservation is deeded to them separately, so.
Okay, good. Roll call.
Commissioner Frankert,
Yes.
Commissioner Paradiso,
Yes.
that's all I have.
Okay, anyone in the audience like to speak? Lee?
Hi, good morning. Lee Wilkinson, running for mayor of Tiffin. I attended the downtown cleanup last Saturday, and my team collected over 62 pounds of trash just from the downtown. The total amount of trash collected is not published yet, so I don't know that, but I'm sure it was at least double that. So we had a lot of people down there cleaning up. And walking door to door, well, I visited almost 4,000 houses, so I'm about halfway there with 5 weeks to go till November 7th, the election.
Good. Adam? Thanks.
Yeah, and Adam Gilmore, to the Seneca Economic Partnership. Firstly, thank you for letting me ask Mike a question. I was just kind of interested in how that process was playing out right now. But also, yesterday in the evening, we launched the public comment and input period for Dream Big Tiffin. There will be a press release on that later today, but it went live yesterday. That will run through November 1st. Dream Big Tiffin, as a reminder, is the community redevelopment sourcing method that the City of Tiffin and TCEP use right now to get new community development ideas. For this public comment period, we have rolled over ideas that are still active and proposals that are still active from the previous 2 Dream Big Tiffins, as well as added the new ideas and proposals that we've received. Again, that runs through November 1st. I would encourage you to check out dreambigtiffin.com where you can view all the proposals as well as the report that was generated after the last cycle. Get a good idea of what is happening in the community, what organizations are looking to do in the community, and then make your voice heard and make sure that we know exactly where your priorities lie and what you think is important to have done in the community. Other than that, thank you for giving me the time, and like I said, we'll have a press release out on that later today.
Really want to thank you for ramping that up and getting that moving, so thank you.
Dennis Snaith, and I'm running for Tiffin City Council, and I'm going to have a meet and greet this coming Monday, and it'll be at the Renaissance of Tiffin, 129 Washington, and we just come out there. It'll be from 7 to 9, and everybody will be in the Barrel 51 room, and everybody will just have a nice evening. We're gonna, you'll have your dinner and everything, but we won't have dinner there, but we'll have dessert for you. So how about that? Everybody likes that dessert.
That's great. Okay, anybody else? Jimmy, I guess this will be one last time for a little while anyhow.
Yeah.
Anybody
if you're
online like to speak?
Yep, if you're on the
Open that
Zoom
up.
call and you want to speak, you can unmute your line now.
Okay. Hey, welcome. I see you at the Fostoria
Yes.
side of the county, but you
Yeah.
move around.
I do,
You-
yes.
You guys seem to do a good job at backing each other up.
We try to, yeah.
Yeah, working hard. Well, welcome to our meeting, and it's great. Anything else?
Nope.
Okay, Jimmy, God bless you.
Last statement there, got, yeah.
Any
So
parting
thank you for
remarks?
Signing off, yeah.
Just grateful. Thank you guys. I appreciate you.
Yeah,
Thank you,
thank you,
Jimmy.
buddy. Means you're.